Controversial Northwest businessman Brown Mokgotsi has made startling allegations at the Madlanga Commission and talking about King of the Amazulu Nation, King Misuzulu Gwazweletini, and KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi working for the Central Intelligence Agency, or the CIA. Now, Mokgotsi yesterday took to the stand before the Madlanga Commission, which entered phase 2 of its evidence. He further claimed that the attempted murder accused, Vus'Muzi Kat Matlala, gave money to Mkhwanazi and even visited him at his home. Now, to help us unpack Mokgotsi's testimony from yesterday, we're joined by a specialized security and investigations expert, Mike Borlase. Mike, good morning and good to have you with us again.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Now, explosive, if you will, those allegations made by the Northwest businessman Brown Mokgotsi at the Madlanga Commission. He has, of course, been one of the protagonists, if you will, around what was revealed by General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi on the 6th of July. But just your first assessment on what was said yesterday.
I think this man has watched too many Tom Cruise movies. It just sounds too good to be true. I've made a few notes here. I mean, I would love to polygraph this man because I don't think any of what he says is true. He states he's an agent, he's a double agent. He incriminates himself, saying that he fools people. He smiles and laughs about extremely serious matters that affects our country. He's callous. He's, in my eyes, in our eyes as specialist investigators, an absolute criminal, and he's wasting our time. I think the authorities should sit him down and tell him to take it serious. Otherwise, they should just arrest him, because he's actually, in my opinion, not only incriminating himself, he's incriminating other people without facts. So the main thing is, where is the facts? I mean, it's ludicrous.
So first off, he starts by telling the commission that he's a contact agent. What does that mean exactly? And if one is designated as such, what sort of powers do you have? What is your job description, for lack of a better term?
There's no way that he is, because he doesn't have the qualifications or the training or even the know-how at all. As I've said, he's watched too many movies. This comes from, if it's the CIA, there is extreme protocol that's followed. I mean, we all know the quality of the FBI and the CIA, and they will never, ever just include a man like this at all. They will work through the presidency if that is necessary, if they would in any way need it. But this is absolutely nonsense. It's not true. There's extreme rules, regulations, and protocols that are followed between countries if there's agents in other countries.
So that notwithstanding, Mike, it would seem that at certain times he did seemingly have access to some really interesting and at some points information that a person of his caliber, as you portrayed, should not be in possession of. So how do we explain that?
Hearsay information and assumptions is a huge problem. We all know the saying that what's the dangers of assumptions? And hearsay information, and this is in the halls where they meet each other and where they talk and where they party. Taking consideration, we've said this before, these organized criminals in this level, where there's government officials, generals, extreme businessmen, gangsters, all involved, they party. One thing criminals do is they party. They spend the money of others, our hard-earned money. They just cannot wait to give it out on wine, woman, and song. And this is where all these talks come from. Brown has just gone on a rampage now. He's just throwing it in there. He just is a loose cannon. And I'm actually surprised that this is allowed. This is really, I cannot explain it. I wouldn't allow it if I was in control of these hearings at all. I would have extreme standards set before the men and tell them this is how it works. And if you present something, you must have facts. You cannot just present hearsay information, this, that, or the other. And this is what Brown has done. What he is doing is he's just jumping in and running his mouth.
So how should the commission proceed from here on in? Because he will be back before the commission today. And as you say, from what you've heard, it all sounds like hearsay. So what should the commission do? How do they walk this back to some level of credibility?
Well, first of all, they shouldn't have allowed yesterday. When they heard him starting, they should have said to him, listen, whatever you say, make sure that you have facts, that there's evidence to it. And don't waste this hearing or commissions or investigations time. I would then today, I'm sure they have the same opinion as us and as the public. I've read the tweets, I've heard what the media has said. We are all agreeing that he is wasting time. He is not really giving evidence. He is not respectful. He is not giving the hearing and the commissions what they need, factual information which they can work with. They should tell him and set him down and expect that of him. If not, he should be removed.
So then today, because as you say, all of these allegations need to be backed up. His gadgets, we know, have been confiscated. So in terms of some of the allegations he made about, for example, his conversations with General Mkhwanazi, surely if those took place, his gadgets should be able to give us the footprint, the timeline of that communication.
True, and that will be the cherry on the cake. And then we'll see this man, the liar that he is. That's what astounds me, that he just carries on and he has absolutely no fear for authority. He just carries on he has no consideration of the truth and wanting to assist and to get things sorted and get things on the way. There's no correct attitude in him. He is arrogant. And this will all come out, and this will incriminate him. Remember, everything is nationwide, televised, and on a record. So everything that he said, every smile, every arrogance, every attitude, his complete body language, his whole demeanor is all captured, and it will count against him.
But to be fair, Mike, surely we should hold ourselves then to the same standard that we expect Brown Mokgotsi to be held to. And therefore, we can't just say that he is lying without being able to back that up as well.
That is true, but the information and the evidence so far, and as it's brought about, clearly shows this is in a different league. You can clearly deduct, not that I rely on hearsay or assumptions, but you can clearly see in his presentation that he's not presenting facts. He's just talk. It's, as I've said, it sounds too good to be true, then it usually is. If something like this is presented in such a way as he has done it yesterday, it doesn't even align with anything that has previously been said. It's just totally out there. And it sounds too good to be true. And this is my biggest concern, that it's just a rambling and taking advantage of a platform to just say whatever comes to his mind or to incriminate. Remember, he's incriminating a lot of people. And as I've said, this evidence has to be presented. Where's the evidence? Because there's none evidence presented as yet by him.
And to that point, is there any sort of onus on the commission to, regardless, test these allegations that he makes. When he says, for example, from that 360 million rand tender, General Fani Masemola wanted 25 million, of which about 10 million has already been paid to him. Also alleges that the former police minister, Bheki Cele, wanted 10 million, of which 2 million was already paid to him. Does the commission have any responsibility to actually go and try and establish the facts around matters such as these, among others?
Amongst everything that he's said, there might be some truths, but unless there's evidence, it's going to be a problem. So that he is being treated with respect by the commission and by the investigation teams. So everything that he says, as I've said, will be carefully evaluated against the facts, against evidence that has been retrieved, against other witnesses and other information that has been gathered, in order to see if there's a money trail, especially the money. Remember, organized crime and racketeering is all about money, getting in as much as possible, and there will be, hopefully, enough evidence to show who has received the 2 million, the 20 million, and so forth. But, you know, if somebody has said, listen, I want 10 million, and he has not received it, it's very difficult to prove it, because it's a he says, she says. You need clear evidence, like a recording or forensic information, or digital or electronic devices that can say, this is what happened, these are the transfers. And then obviously lifestyle audits. I mean, if you're a policeman and you get 100,000 rand a month, but you're living 500,000 rand, you got a Lamborghini, it is very clear. I think in the end, the lifestyle audits on all these generals is going to put them in jail, and hopefully, in my opinion, because the lifestyle audit clearly shows what you have gathered, and the criminals always make that mistake. When they get money, they spend it, and they leave. It can be tracked and traced. They leave evidence behind.
And then, of course, also Mokgotsi is accused of acting as a conduit between the suspended police minister, Senzo Mchunu, and the alleged crime cartel boss, Matlala. But he denies any association with Mchunu. What do you make of that disassociation, and also him going as far as to say his handlers had instructed him to ensure that Mchunu and Matlala, for example, never meet?
He's a self-appointed man now. He's appointed himself as the MacGyver in South Africa, and he has admitted that he fools people with double cell phones. He's a double agent. He says he has specific training and that he's in all kinds of facets involved in all these authorities, which clearly, and he explains that he would use the phone to do this and then fool another person to that. That's an old gangster trick. That when we investigate gangsterism, that's what they do, is with their cell phones and fooling people. And this is where extortion and all kinds of other forms of crimes can be committed as well. So what he says is very difficult to pinpoint to him unless he has evidence, where he has specific appointments, where he was commissioned to do specific things, where there is black and white that states that he has to be involved here, there, or this agent, or involved with this general, or this Zulu king, or whomever. There should be evidence of that. If there is not, then this is all lies.
Well, that's what we're looking forward to. Brian Mokgotsi, of course, back before the Madlanga Commission at 2 p.m. today. But thank you so much, Mike Boles, Specialized Security and Investigations expert, unpacking the controversial Northwest businessman Brown Mokgotsi's testimony at the Madlanga Commission yesterday. And, of course, much anticipation for how things will pan out today. We need to take a quick break before we get to the top of the hour and your latest news.